Okay, so we're going to be starting rigging a human character today. This is a character model of Louise Belcher, and I think let me actually open up a different one. We got some more stuff here. Um, yeah, because I think I'm missing some over here. Oh, there it is. All right, so with this character rig, I'm going to have you guys basically rig your entire character that you made for that last modeling assignment. And that's going to be essentially working with a system um, that works with a world con, placement con, and then a root con that goes around the waist. We'll be having a reverse foot IK set up for the feet, which will allow us to move the feet around and allow us to move that all around. Additionally, it's also going to allow us to have a rivet spine in the upper torso. So we can move that torso around. We'll be having an arm system as well that allows to flip the arms from a IK to an FK, FK to an IK system, so that we can move the arms just by using the wrist. We'll also have a facial rig as well to allow us to move the entire head around, and then we can open and close the mouth. And then we can also make the eyes look around. And then for her, she has some bunny ears, so I actually end up bringing those bunny ears. And then we'll have a series of blend shapes allow us to change expressions on the face. And then also have her putting her eyes as well. Okay. So a bunch of different little things we have in the character do, and each one of these assignments are going to build on top of each other. Um, so make sure you keep up with these assignments, and this is going to be honestly based a lot on how well your model is topology wise. If the topology is really good, then you should have a pretty easy time when it comes to like skinning and weight painting this model. But if it's not great, you're gonna have a harder time. So I definitely will pay attention to those modeling projects, and then revise the model if you need to make it work a little bit better. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to go and pause this and strip out the rig, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So what I went ahead and did, what you're going to want to do for your mesh, the first thing, so we can kind of prep our mesh to get it ready to rig, is you guys are going to like pop out the eyeballs. Um, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete history and freeze transformations, as well as name all of the meshes within our mesh in here. So what I want to do is go ahead and grab all the meshes that are associated with our rig that we're going to be bringing up, and I'm going to go to modify freeze transformations. That's going to freeze all the translations and transformations up in here. And I'm going to go over to edit, delete, all by type, history. Okay, so if there's any history associated with these meshes, it's going to go ahead and delete those. And We're going to also go over to optimize scene size. And that's going to delete any extra stuff in here. And then you want to make sure that you name all of your mesh pieces. So I named mine, let's say like the body. I named it Louise Body Geo, Louise Dress Geo, eyeball left, top of her teeth, eyeball right, eyebrows, tongue, hair, eyelashes, head geo, shoes, hair or hair ties, and her bottom teeth. So she has a lot of geometry in here to be named. So you want to make sure you name every single one of those pieces. Okay. All right. So next thing I'm going to do is we're going to group all those together. So hit Control G, select all the meshes, hit Control G, then make a little group. And I'm going to go rename that group Geo group. Okay. Then when I hit Control G again, it's going to group that group to itself. I name that char group, or you can name it whatever you make your character's name is. So I could do like char Louise, or character Louise group. So, okay. Now we're going to go ahead and put this in some different display layers. So I already have a display layer for her clothing, so I can take clothing on and off as I need to. I have another one for the skin, which I want to go ahead and name that. Skin. And I'm going to take the rest of this, put all that in this group, and that's going to be eyes from layer. Okay. And the reason why I'm doing this is so we can kind of just easily just go and turn things on and off when we need to. So for this one, this is going to make it a little bit easier for me to drop the skin in and kind of work as I need to with this one. All right. I'm also going to go ahead and template the mesh right here. That way I can start dropping in skeleton bones and joints as I need to. All right. So let's go ahead. You want to make sure that your mesh is standing on the grid. You want to make sure it's centered on the side and the front and the top views. If it's off to one side or another, that's not going to be good. I want to make sure everything is nice and centered. And we can go ahead and start. So let me jump into the side view here. And then I want to go over to my rigging tool set. I want to go to skeleton and create joints. You'll see my tool turns into a little like cross. We'll create joints tool right there. You can also get to this from the rigging shelf right there. We have a create joints button right there. So different ways to get to this. And I'm going to go ahead and create a root joint, R-O-O-T. Root is going to be essentially where your hips are, where your pelvis is. Okay, so that's going to be right there. I'm going to hold shift and click and drag up a few times. So it really is going to depend on like how long your torso is. So I'm going to do root 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do the one right there. That's going to be the top of the spine. Then we're going to do one more for the base of the neck. And then I'm going to click and drag here. I'm going to do one. Notice there's a short distance between these two. This will be the top of the spine. This will be the base of the neck. And there is a need for these two right here. So base of the neck, neck 1, neck 2. This will be, let's see, kind of like the top of the neck right there. I'm going to put a joint right here in the center of the head. And then there's going to be a joint up the tip of the head. These two joints actually are going to end up being joints that don't really bend. This will be a joint that I can attach things like her bunny ears to. This will be a joint. I can attach like joints going out to the eyes on. Okay. So let's go ahead and name these. Joint, you're gonna have to name every single one of these. None of these can be just left as joint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as they have to have names. So it's gonna be root joint, spine joint 1. Three. And then this right here, I'm just gonna name it spine top joint. Base joint. Joint 1, 2, 3, or you could do like joint top or something. Um, this right here is going to be the head center joint. Top. Yeah. All right, so that's going to be our joints for our spine and neck. Okay. We'll do another joint right down here. Going to be groin joint. That's going to be right here down the bottom. Sure. And then I'm going to grab the groin joint and the root joint. So grab groin and then root, shift, or just hold the shift, select the both, and then hit P. You'll notice that the root now points to both up and down, meaning that the root joint is now parent to both of these. So if you take a look, you'll see a nice stair step down. And then the second level down here, it says groin joint. That's really important to keep track of. All right, I'm going to go to our front view. Go over here and put in my hip joint. And then look where closely where your topology is for your Ds. So right here I have my knee. My knee edge looping laid out here. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna put this right here in the center. And then this is going to go right down here. That's going to be my ankle. These are actually going to be placeholders. They're not going to be permanent joints. Do this one back a little bit here. Knee placement looks pretty good there. Another joint right here. That's going to be the ball. And then toe tip is going to be going out to the right at the tip of the toes. Okay. So I'm going to shift select hit P. And we can move that over to the correct spot. So right there. Now we can't actually use these, so we need to retrace them back out. So what I'll do is go ahead and grab the joint tool again. The reason why we're retracing these out is because the joint orientations from us placing and then moving them around are actually incorrect. So they may point to the different directions. We want them to have a uniform joint orientation. So I'm just going to pull down V as Victor and snap to each of these right here. See? I'll just take the original leg, delete that. So I'll have this new set of legs here. I have an extra groin joint that I created. I don't really need that anymore. So I'm going to grab the new hip. Hit Shift P is an unparent, so it's going to unparent it. Delete that extra groin joint. Grab the hip, grab the groin, and then Hip knee is in pairs. No, that is underneath. The new hip is underneath the old groin joint. So let's go ahead and give this a new name. Left hip joint. Left knee joint. Left ankle joint. Left ball joint. That's gonna be the ball of the foot. Left toe tip joint. So let's just kind of be clear on some placements here for the piece. It seems like this gets kind of confusing. Ankle, that goes where your ankle flexes. Okay, so right in this region right here. The ball of the foot goes right here where your foot bends in the middle. So if you kind of like lift your heel up where that bends, that's where that needs to go. In fact, I might even argue you could probably put a little more forward. Then move that toe tip back a little bit, but you have to have it kind of more forward. You cannot have your ball joint here because when you try to lift the heel, it's not actually going to lift. So you have to have it out forward somewhere right about there. Okay. So you only need in the foot 1, 2, 3 joints. For that reverse foot system we're going to be creating. Okay. Now that's not counting the toe joints that we'll make, but this is just our clear look at the legs. Okay. So groin joint, hip, knee, ankle, ball, toe tip. All right. Okay. So we're going to make some toe joints for each one of these toes. So I'm going to go down and let's do one. Yeah, I would do at least 3 joints per toe. So a base, middle, and tip. You can do more if you want to. The joints are kind of a little bit large. So let's go over here to kinematics under preferences and let's turn these down. Down. I'll make sure that they line up kind of with the placement. And I'm not going to be really kind of messing with the orientations of these. These are all going to be pretty straight. So I don't need to retrace them back out. But if you end up bending them quite a bit, you will want to retrace them back out. They need to be in the middle of the meat of the toe. So right about there. Here. Back over. So something like that. Let's go ahead and give these a name. With these right here, we're going to use a search and replace. So let's do modify, search and replace. And to look for joint. Replace with left foot or left toe. So yeah. Let's see, search and replace hierarchy. There we go. So it's left toe, 1, 2, 3. And then we'll change all this to spelled left. It should be left. Big toe. That extra toe toe. Another big toe. All right. So place we go left toe two. Left. Index, I don't know, left toe, index. This with okay. So that'll rename all of those. What's that for with a one? Search and replace. Change left toe with left right toe. Same thing for this one. Search and replace, left toe, left pinky toe. Yep. All right, so all of those back. And then here's the trick. Now pay attention to this. I'm going to grab all these base toes. They have to go under the toe tip joint. I understand this looks weird. It's doubling back. Just do it and trust me on this, okay? The reason why is because we need these toes to follow wherever this toe tip joint goes. If it points up, we need these toes to point up. If it points down, we need them to point down. We don't need them to tear off, so we need to make sure they are in the right spot. So make sure these toes go underneath the toe tip joint. Okay, no questions, just do it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a mirror over. So skeleton, mirror joints, right there. This is going to go across my YZ axis. So you can look over here, YZ axis. I'm going to go from, let's see, I'm going to mirror the orientation, search for left, replace with right. And there you go. So that'll mirror those feet. One big thing is you want to make sure that there's a slight bend in your knees. Otherwise, when we do um, the IT handle, it's going to end up bending the knee in a weird direction. So put a slight bend forward in that knee joint. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do next set of joints. This is going to be similar. We're going to be putting in a center chest joint right here. Okay. All right, so we're going to have a clavicle joint right here. This is going to be before the shoulder joint. If you lift up your arm, you're going to feel your shoulder like moves in a couple of places. Clavicle is going to allow you to move that joint up. So put a clavicle right there. Shoulder is going to go right here. elbow. It's going to be right where we have this higher density of topology right through there. And then wrist. And I'm going to put a null joint in the center of the hand. Let's hit enter. Let's check and see what it looks like at the top. Okay. I'm going to take that shoulder joint, to the back, rotate. See, there's going to be a slight bend here. Same idea. We get a slight bend in that elbow joint. And make sure that wrist is right where the wrist needs to bend. But you can move that back just a hair. Okay. All right. Let's control this one more time. So joint tool, snap it. So there we go. So we should have a copy of those joints. So delete the originals. Now, left shoulder joint. Left elbow joint. Left wrist joint. And then the hand is going to be called the left null hand joint. Okay. So we'll take that, pop it under the center chest joint. And actually, you know what? I'm missing a shoulder joint. So this actually be good. Okay, so we got a little mistake here. Okay. So I did a clavicle joint, but I forgot to do the shoulder joint. All right. So we need to add that in. So how can we do that? So let's take a look at some options here. We do have an interactive uh, insert joint tool. It sometimes works for me, sometimes doesn't. So you kind of pop that in there. Okay. So basically it's a drag it in type of situation. So let's bring that back in. Yeah, actually that works pretty well. So I can click and drag on the bone and drag it forward. Pull it some more right on. All right, excellent. I need to rename that shoulder joint. All right, so make sure you pay attention to this part. We'll see who actually skips ahead on this. Left clavicle joint. So you rename this. Left shoulder. Okay. You should be able. All right, so that'll give us that extra piece there. All right, skeleton. Actually, you know what? We gotta do fingers. We're not done yet. Let's do our fingers. So let's do fingers. I'm gonna do start with a thumb. Let's just do start with this finger. So I'm gonna do joint. So I'm gonna do one joint in the base, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Left index finger. So that actually is gonna. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a bend in it, so it's not gonna work completely. All right, it's gonna be our base. Okay. I'll duplicate it. Flip it over. Save it. Over. All right, want to make sure these joints stay in the fingers. Put it inside the meat of the fingers, so wherever those bends are going to be. And then we need to do a joint set for the thumb as well. So the thing is with the thumb, if you feel it, you actually have two visible joints. And then you have a hidden joint inside your palm. So what I'm doing is I'm actually rotating, bringing that thumb down. I'm going to shove this joint right up in here. There. Rotate this back. See, we have these bundle of edge loops here. I'm gonna make sure and have that. All right, so I need to go and uh, retrace out these finger joints right here real quick. So I'm gonna go for the null. I'll take each one of these. Null, trace. The reason why I'm doing the null and then each one of the fingers is gives me good orientation here at the base of the finger. So another one, do this. Original, like these originals here. All of these are going to go under that null joint. So make sure they all go back underneath here. Okay, so we just have new finger joints. And if you look, the reason why we're talking about like local rotation axes and orientations. So if you look, these little axes with the yellow, the red, and blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow, red, blue, red, blue. I want to make sure we have a central axis that's going down the center of all of these. So if we have like an x-axis, which is the red, and then z, which is going to be your primary rotation to bend the fingers. Okay, and that's the same for all of these. So it means if I go in, I get a controller that rotates all on Z, it's going to close that finger a lot more easily. And then hopefully do something similar. That's going to rotate Y on there. But similar ideas, we can rotate and close the hand with one central movement. Okay, so, all right, so I'm going to go and do a search and replace, selected, search for joint, rename it left thumb joint. Let's place that lowercase joint. One, two, yeah. Place joint left index. Index joint place. Two, the append joint. Yeah. Or apply search replace. That's going to be left middle. Finger joint. Place. These. Same idea. Search and replace. We'll do left. Pinky joint. Boom. So pinky 1, 2, 3, 4, index 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got all these named and numbered. So we're good. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and mirror this. Grab that clavicle. Joints. There we go. Awesome. All right. So this clavicle right here is going to go under the spine top joint. There. Okay. Save this. All right, cool. And so right now we have all the joints we need for the first assignment. We will be adding joints for the eyes, mouth, nose, all of that later on. We'll be adding joints for the IKF systems on the arms, but this is all that you need right now for this first run through of the joints. Next videos we'll go through and we'll do the initial controls. So the world placement, root, and the spine joints, and also creating the spine.